Three of the papers for you. Hello there.
Hi, Catherine.
And we're going to start off with this unrest in Missouri.
That's right. Now, a lot of papers are pointing out that Ferguson, Missouri has returned to calm after days of violent clashes between police and protesters. But let's take a look at this article in the Daily Beast. It says that Missouri is bracing for a new Michael Brown. Michael Brown is the name of that black teenager, and his death sparked those initial protests. But this article tells us that yesterday, police killed another young black man who allegedly stole from a convenience store just 3 miles away from the place where Brown was killed. So a lot of papers are wondering whether or not this will have an impact on the protests in Ferguson.
And this story has, of course, had some focus all around the world. People particularly have been looking at the crackdown by police.
That's right. Now, some countries seem to be delighted by what's happening in Ferguson. Let's take an article in Slate, which says that, look at this, world dictators love the unrest in Ferguson. Now, they're usually at the receiving end of U.S. criticism for their crackdown on public protests, but now they're having a field day turning the tables on Washington. I pulled out one article in the Egyptian press, which expresses its deep concern, and it quotes the spokesman from the Egyptian Foreign Ministry who calls for restraint and respect for the right of assembly and peaceful expression of opinion. That's in Daily News, an Egyptian paper. But Egypt isn't alone. Russia, Iran, and China have also made comments. China's state-run Xinhua news agency recently said the United States needs to concentrate on solving its own problems rather than always pointing the finger at others.
And we might add that President Barack Obama has been pretty quiet on this issue, right?
That's right. In fact, there's an interesting article in the Washington Post today that takes a look at just this. You have politicians, political scientists, even musicians have been calling on Obama to do more, show more emotion. Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, the musician, for instance, he had a video message for Obama saying, "Get on the plane. These are your people. It's serious, baby." And the Washington Post says, yes, it is serious, but there's not much that Obama can actually do. And this article comes to Obama's defense, saying that in the face of unrealistic expectations, that's what this article calls it, he's being neither silent nor disengaged. He's letting the Department of Justice and the FBI do their job. And basically, this article says that because of the ongoing investigation, the last thing anybody should want is for the president to be rhetorically reckless in talking about this police killing.
And we have to remember, of course, the United States, there's difference between the powers in the state and the powers in Washington on the federal level, isn't there?
Absolutely.
It's not like the UK or France. Let's move on. Lots of papers focusing on, sorry, it's absolutely shocked so many people, the reported beheading of the US journalist James Foley.
Right. A lot of focus on that video that we've decided not to show. So I pulled out an article in the Daily Beast by Christopher Dickey, which actually describes the video, what you can see in this video. And you can see here, it talks about medieval cruelty in modern times. And one part of the article tries to figure out how did he end up in the hands of ISIS, because he went missing in Syria in 2012. And according to sources quoted in the article, it says that it's likely that he was abducted by a pro-regime militia, so a regime close to Bashar al-Assad. Now, what's interesting is that this article says that several groups fighting against Bashar al-Assad have claimed that there was or is a tacit collaboration between Bashar al-Assad and ISIS. But what's interesting is I pulled out another article, this time in The Independent, that points out that al-Assad is actually cracking down on ISIS after ignoring ISIS for quite a while. Why is that? Well, perhaps, and I pulled out a quote, it says that Assad would love to regain international acceptance via a war on terror.
Okay, let's finish with something rather different. Iceland back in the spotlight, another pesky volcano.
That's right. It seems like Icelandic media are really having their moment in the spotlight, especially by teaching us how to pronounce the name of this
It's
new volcano.
not easy. I don't even recognise that letter in the middle there.
Exactly. Well, I pulled out a video from this website on Iceland Review, which teaches us how. Let's take a listen.
Bárðarbunga. Bárðarbunga. Bárðarbunga.
So this is very good for all us journalists to practice, because we might be having to talk about it a lot more. It reminds me of that other volcano, the one in 2010. Supposedly you're really good at pronouncing it.
I was told it was Eyjafjallajökull, but Stephen Carroll has a slightly different pronunciation.
I always said Eyjafjallajökull.
There we go.
I just say the Icelandic volcano.
Exactly. If any Icelandic people out there know, then please get in touch. Thanks very much, Florence Firmino, for that, and the rest of the international press review here on France 24. That's it from us for this half hour. Do stay tuned. Plenty more news coming up.